This is breaking news.
Law and order will prevail, and President Trump will make sure of it.
We begin with breaking news at 5 tonight. The city of Portland in the federal crosshairs once again. And tonight we've learned that President Trump has authorized even more resources in Portland and is looking to cut funding due to a rise in, quote, Antifa-related incidents. His escalation following the overnight arrest of a conservative influencer outside the ICE facility on Portland's south waterfront. The city is already awaiting the arrival of Oregon National Guard troops to that facility. Thanks a lot for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
I'm Deborah Knapp. There are a lot of new developments tonight. So here's what we know right now. 27-year-old Nick Sortor was among 3 people arrested for disorderly conduct after some kind of fight outside the ICE facility. In a news conference today, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said he was defending himself from, quote, left-wing protesters. He has since been released.
Leavitt says the DOJ is now investigating Portland police for his arrest. The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office is reviewing the case and will make a charging decision before his arraignment on Monday. Meanwhile, Oregon National Guard troops are still mobilizing for their deployment to the ICE facility following ongoing clashes. A legal battle is brewing to try and stop that deployment. There are a lot of claims from both sides tonight. K2's on your side with team coverage digging into those claims as well as reaction. K2's Vasily Varlamos is live in Salem tonight talking to lawmakers from both sides of the aisle. And K2's Christina Giardinelli is following the threats to cut funding.
We start with K2's Shelby Slaughter with what set off this latest escalation by the White House, the arrest of the influencer. So Shelby, the DOJ set a hard deadline for the Portland Police Bureau to respond.
Yeah, Deb, and that was in a letter from the Department of Justice that says in order to, quote, address our compliance concerns, the Bureau needs to get necessary items to them by next Friday. Now, take a look at this video here on your screens showing Nick Sortor being arrested last night in South Portland. Now, the DOJ saying they want to see that body-worn camera video of his arrest, as well as unredacted documents and after-action reviews involving Sortor and another conservative influencer. In the letter, the DOJ says Portland police force is using powers in a manner that may be based on, quote, viewpoint discrimination. When asked about this investigation, Chief Day said this.
Well, I would say that the Department of Justice has been investigating the Portland Police Bureau since 2012. And I would say that the actions and steps that we are taking now in law enforcement, in the enforcement action around protest activity is actually designed and supported and created by their partnership with the Department of Justice under this settlement agreement. I would say that in 2020, under the original administration, that we were harshly criticized for the way in which we responded, and so 5 years later, as a learning organization, taking their input and their response, we have changed our response. So I have always been very transparent and welcoming of critique and evaluation of the Police Bureau.
Now, Chief Day says Sortor was arrested for disorderly conduct and has already been released from jail, and now he's due in court on Monday. In regards to the federal investigation, Sortor did post on Twitter earlier today saying that Portland police will, quote, absolutely hate what's coming. Reporting live in downtown Portland, I'm Shelby Slaughter, K2 News.
All right, Shelby, thank you.
What's your first and last name?
Nick Sortor, N-I-C-K-S-O-R-T-O-R.
And a good title.
Independent reporter.
So where are you from and what has happened over the past couple days?
So from Washington, D.C., here in Portland, which is still the United States of America. It doesn't really seem like it right now, but it is. So I'm out here as an American, trying to document what's happening on the ground out here. I think this has been going on for far too long. I mean, I've spoken to so many residents in this building right here that can't sleep at night because this stuff goes on 24/7. I don't know if you've been out here at 3 o'clock in the morning, but they're still yelling and screaming and, I came here last night and I ended up being harassed in the street here, with megaphones and stuff. I mean, I don't know how you'd be able to carry on your day as somebody that lives in this building over here in particular, but it's something that needs national media attention, and I'm glad it's finally getting it.
And so what happened over the past couple days when you were involved with law enforcement?
So I don't know how many times you've tried walking, over in that area late at night with a camera. They don't like it. They don't particularly like it. They're they don't take too kindly to cameras, and they're definitely not too kind to people filming them after they've been, say, pepper sprayed or maced or thrown on the ground by ICE or CBP, somebody from DHS, whatever it is. And that seemed to create the problem the other night because they don't like the fact that after they're on the ground and after they've just been hit by tear gas, they were very much upset by the fact that I was sitting there recording that happening. And that seemed to set them off. I attempted to walk back to my car because my camera battery was dying. My car was parked over the, I won't say exactly where, but that way down the road, at the restaurant. And I tried walking down there. They blocked my path. I gave multiple warnings. It's all on video. It's all posted on my X as well as Fox News' page and everything like that. They were blocking my path. I kept saying, "Stop! I'm going to walk this way. I'm walking this way. Walking this way." They didn't like that. They ended up swinging at me, punched me in the face, broke my camera, and then threw me in the pit over there, the recessed flower bed. And I ended up, I walked around a little bit more, and then I went back to Portland Police. I went back to that group over there, thinking, okay, that would be, a safe place to go after that encounter. And they ended up, one of the sergeants came up, pointed and said, "Cuff him." And that's when I was arrested. My assailant was never arrested in that situation. They're still over there under the, in that homeless camp over there.
And what was going through your mind when you were being told, or when you were told that you were being handcuffed?
There were two things that went through my mind, neither of them being I am actually under arrest. The first one was that they were acting like they were arresting me to get me out of the area, and they were gonna drop me down the street. That's what it sounded like was happening at first. Or secondly, it was mistaken identity. It took me a while to actually accept the fact that they were there for me. The cops had actually arrested me. They had no idea. It took them over an hour to figure out what the charges were. We pulled over on the side of the road near the jail downtown, and because they couldn't write on the report what the charges were because they had no idea. So we waited for over an hour. We got a call from the lieutenant. Lieutenant told them to step out of the vehicle so that I couldn't hear what they were talking about. Came back in the car, didn't say anything. Got another call from that same lieutenant, got out of the vehicle. They started talking down the street, so I couldn't hear. Came back and said it's going to be, they said DISCON 2, which means disorderly conduct 2. And they wrote that on the charge sheet, but they still at that point didn't know why I was being charged with disorderly conduct. So somebody from higher up demanded the arrest, and they pointed at me and told the cops that were on the street to make that arrest.
And were you read your rights?
No.
You were not read your rights?
I was never Mirandized.
Wow, okay. So, why are you back out here tonight?
Well, I got court now, so I'm not going to leave Portland anytime soon. I gotta go to court, gotta fight it. There will be no plea deal. It will be, we'll fight it to the very end. Because it's not, they're not legitimate charges. You come out here every single night, and you see what's happening on the street out here, and you're going to say that I am the one that's disorderly? I'm the one that's going to be arrested? What are these people? What do you call this? What do you call blocking the roads? What do you call 3 o'clock in the morning with the megaphones? What do you call setting things on fire? Is none of that disorderly conduct? No.
And how are you preparing for tomorrow?
I've definitely lawyered up. And I think all the facts are on my side, so I'm not particularly worried about it. What I am concerned about is a political prosecution, because it's gotten to the point, with the national attention and such. I feel like the DA or the prosecutor will be afraid to potentially, even though they know that the charges are, BS. I think that they will still continue to press them, because they're scared of what's going to happen, with these people out here. Not everybody out here is violent. Let me be clear. But there are definitely some violent people out here that have violent tendencies. But it only takes a few in a group of a lot to incite that violent reaction. And I think that the fact that Portland decides to... Oh, sorry.
No, you're...
I didn't know, because you're... Okay. What was I saying? Oh, Portland Police sent out the liaisons that say they have no enforcement powers, which is an odd thing for a cop to say. and they seem like their entire goal was to not tick off one side of the protest out here. So, you know, I don't see them dropping the charge for that reason. I think for anybody else, they probably would. But now that it's got, I'm not the one that put this out, right? I was in jail. I didn't know anybody even knew about it. I didn't call anybody when I was in there. I didn't know if anybody saw it. Nothing like that. I got out, and I very soon after ended up getting a phone call from the Attorney General of the United States. So I knew that it was a pretty big story at that point. So.
And just for the top of my head, remind me what day it was?
Oh my gosh, it would have been 2 days ago.
Thursday night? Is it Thursday?
Yeah, it would have been Thursday night because it was Friday when I was released. So.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to double check. And so, do you think the deployment of federal troops are justified after being here for the past couple days?
I absolutely do, and what I think that they're justified for is pretty simple. What you have here is you have resources that are being taken up that could be used for actual federal law enforcement purposes. These guys, like ICE agents, Border Patrol agents, are being used to guard the facility out here rather than being out in the field, right? The National Guard should be deployed to guard the facility while agents are allowed to do the jobs that they're prescribed to do. These guys know why they're out here. They know that they're distracting. They know that they're taking resources away from raids. It's the whole point as to why they're out here. And they are, so far, they're having a lot of success doing that. So the National Guard deployment, which honestly, if that doesn't work, then Trump's just going to deploy active duty Marines, and you're going to have the same result. It's just a matter of time. It's a game of time at this point. How long can they stall and delay some sort of deployment? If I believe there was a hearing started about an hour ago, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So they're working through the night in court to figure out, will Trump be able to deploy the California National Guard here to Oregon? And if not, then I think the next step is active duty Marines.
And so, as you can see, a lot of people here have differing opinions as you, and a lot of the people that have come out here. What has it been like standing side by side with them?
So some of them are fine. Some of them are willing to have conversations, but there are other people that are definitely not so willing to have conversations. And I have a lot of, there are some of them in there that are firmly on that side that will be, they'll tell you that they've talked to me, that we've had conversations for quite a long time, and we've totally disagree on policy issues, but we don't have any, it's not hatred, right? But there are some people that are firmly under the belief that people like me are Nazis and fascists, and that they're Nazis and fascists, which creates, that's what creates violence. If you truly believe somebody is a Nazi, you're less, you feel less of a, you feel less bad about inflicting violence on that person. That's sort of the mentality that I'm getting. So if I'm not saying all of these people truly believe everybody here in that building and myself and whatever are Nazis, but there are definitely some people that truly believe them.
And just kind of like a broad question going back to the very beginning, what was your purpose coming out here? What did you want to do?
I mainly just wanted to document the situation. I saw that Katie Davenport was beat with a pole, and she had a bulging black eye the next day. And I saw that the video of Portland police following the person down to, I believe, that corner down there, and saying, "You're detained, you're not free to leave," and she's like, the assailant said, "No, I'm not detained and I'm leaving," and they just walked away without police. I mean, if 90% of people were to be detained by police and then say, "Screw you, I'm leaving," they're going to get tased or tackled. That's what happened. They just let her walk away, and I soon realized that there was. There's something else going on out here, and so I just wanted to come and document it. I did not anticipate being arrested for, coming out here. I think that's, we'll figure out the facts in court tomorrow, I guess. But for now, I've put out the information. I've already put out publicly, and it's not even me. It was somebody else that was reporting the situation that put it out. That. You can go back and watch the video and see everything that happens. It's a very, very long video they put out that shows everything. It's not cut. It's pretty clear.
Have you, from what you've seen here, everything is being documented. There's phones everywhere, cameras everywhere. Have you seen anything like this before?
With people with phones, I mean, like at all these events, they typically have phones. What I haven't seen is all the people saying that I'm guilty of the crime. Nobody has been able to produce any evidence of that. If everybody out here has a phone and nobody has been able to, you know, post a video saying, oh, well, no, look at him, he's actually the aggressor. Not a single person has been able to do that so far. So I think the case is pretty soft, to say the least.
All right. Any other last messages you want to get out or anything else you want to add?
Do you believe Portland police didn't know who you were before they arrested you?
I mean, I think that they definitely knew who I was before they arrested me. So that's I had already been talking to them beforehand. I had already talked to them about the fact that they launched a probe into the agent that maced a girl in the road. And I had been standing behind them over top of them, and they didn't know it at the time, but I was recording them with, you know, doing the report and taking evidence in, because and then they found out later that I did that, and they weren't exactly happy about me doing that, because I posted it and blasted them for it. And because, you know, what's the point of they're doing very selective investigations down here. Let's just say that much. I don't know what what the liaison's actual role. I know what they say that it is, but they're very selective in how they execute that role. We'll say.
What do you think of the DOJ's investigation into Portland police?
Yeah.
Because of your arrest?
Well, it's not just because of my arrest. It's also because of the lack of effort on their part in the assault and battery on Katie Daviscourt. So that's also mentioned in it. They want all documents, they want all records, all body cam footage. You know, Portland is already under a consent decree by the federal government. So it's not going to be particularly difficult for them to get that information. That consent decree was set to expire. It's not going to expire now, which is good. I think that at this point, who has faith in the Portland Police Department? Because it's not the right, it's not the left. Who is it? That's not a good situation to be in when it comes to a police department. Nobody here expects the Portland Police to actually enforce any laws, which is why it ends up becoming mayhem down here. And you have the spaghetti factory manager begging for the police to allow people to go to their restaurant. Something's got to change with that for sure.
All right. Anything else you want to add? Anything?
I want to make sure, like, are we going to have access to all of this?